Welcome to RSSDR TV 2020. I am Dr. Shahu Ingole and you are watching me on RSSDR TV brought to you by Vocard. I am honored to have with me an eminent personality and renowned senior diabetologist from Pune, Dr. Professor Chittaranjan Yagnik sir. Sir is the Director, Diabetes Unit, KM Hospital and Research Center, Pune. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Contrary to the popular belief that diabetes mellitus is not a disease that affects only the affluent, it strikes the poor and the undernourished as well. A greater awareness of this fact as a result of large epidemiological data that has been generated has resulted in the new international classification of the diabetes, which included the third type, that is malnutrition related diabetes mellitus. So, sir, we would like to know from you what is the burden of malnutrition and diabetes in India and how these two are interrelated.
Okay, the MRDM story was story of 1980s, which described diabetes in extremely malnourished people. And it came from across the world and certain parts of India like Orissa, southern India, and pockets in the very impoverished. That time it was a cross-sectional association. And there was no life course history or any epidemiology related to what were the early stages. So it created a lot of controversy. And when subsequently the obesity was equated with the risk factor for type 2 diabetes, this entity was unceremoniously dumped. So it went away from the WHO classification. David Barker came and for the first time linked intrauterine undernutrition, measured as low birth weight, as a risk factor for future diabetes. So in India, we have done a lot of research on this, and there are many other groups who have together shown that fetal undernutrition is a strong risk factor for type 2 diabetes in later life. It also leads to a phenotype, which we describe from my department, called the thin fat Indian. So they remain thin because they have deposited less of lean mass in utero and more fat. And as they grow and become socioeconomically better, put on weight, that becomes more and more obvious. They are thin but fat. And this is associated with increased risk of diabetes. The intrauterine factors are linked to maternal undernutrition, either in one generation or many generations, which is true for majority of Indians. And that has programmed the fetus, as it is called in the scientific jargon, of the developmental origins of health and disease, so that the fetus grows less in certain parts of the body, notably liver, pancreas, kidneys, and lower half of the body. So these thin individuals have smaller liver, smaller pancreas, smaller kidneys, smaller legs at birth and subsequently, and that is a reduced capacity to deal with the stress of nutrition and other environmental stresses in later life. And therefore, disease manifests at an early age. That is how Indians get diabetes at a much younger age than the Europeans, at a much lower BMI, but have a higher body fat percent. So all this story together is a new avatar of malnutrition related diabetes. Malnutrition in the intrauterine life, malnutrition across many generations, with a rapid transition in the postnatal life. And that rapid transition creates a stress which the poorly developed organs are not able to handle. So this is the new story of MRDM. Very proud that we have developed it, and it explains many observations in recent reports. The best report is the GBD, the Global Burden of Disease India report of diabetes. First author Dr. Nikhil Tandon, also organized by Lalit Dandona from PHFI. The paper published on the global burden of disease in India, first author Dr. Nikhil Tandon, organized by PHFI Dr. Lalit Dandona. We are also co-authors, and it studied increase in diabetes in 25 states in India over 25 years from 1990 to 2016. And the states which had the highest rise are those which were impoverished or geographically very compromised or politically very unstable or politically very challenged. And these are the ones where diabetes has risen the most, indicating that long term challenges, either of nutrition, other environmental stresses, makes you susceptible. So that small amount of development, as we see social and economic, is not tolerable, not tolerated by the system because the system develops weak. The idea is the blueprint of the system which develops in intrauterine life and across generations through genetic and epigenetic factors is not able to handle the stress of the modern life. And that is the story of malnutrition related diabetes. The best avatar of it is the type 2 diabetes in the multi generationally challenged populations of the world, India being one of them, China, another country, two major capitals of diabetes in the world. And even in the developed countries, now diabetes is more common in the poor and the lower socioeconomic groups because they have traditionally faced multi-generational challenges and are now not able to face the rapid development, especially manifested as obesity. My friend Jonathan Wales called this capacity load model. We are developed with lower capacity of vital organs so that the load of modern life brings on various diseases, be it diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, kidney problems, schizophrenia. So all organs are affected. And this is the basis of the new theory in medicine, what's called developmental origins of health and disease, DOHAD. And Professor David Barker mentioned this in 1980s and 90s. And I was lucky that he came and met me in February 1991, changed my thinking overnight. And since then, I have done nothing but this as part of our research. So that is the story.
Yeah. So, sir, what is the way ahead to curb the both the epidemics, that is malnutrition and diabetes?
Yeah. So the major approach or major change in approach is a life course approach. Now, for people who are already born with a limitation of poor early life growth, we have to try and make sure that they don't overnourish very rapidly. So you can't grow fat in relation to your past. And therefore, you have to control your diet, you have to exercise adequately, you have to learn to manage stress, which is the current approach for prevention of diabetes in many trials. Nothing wrong with that for people who are already on the way to diabetes. But the real primary prevention and the new concept called primordial prevention, which happens even before primary prevention, is an intergenerational improvement in health. So you improve the health of today's adolescents and young reproductive age males and women so that you reduce the risk of diabesity, that is diabetes and adiposity, in the next generation by improving the capacity of the organs. Because how can you tell young people to reduce the load, which is of course related to food availability, change in the lifestyle, all the media presence, now working from home, all these risk factors are going to be faced adequately only if the capacity of your system is better. And that is the primordial intergenerational model of prevention, and it's epigenetic rather than genetic. So there is a possibility of changing the epigenome, even though your genome might have been programmed over millions of years to have some increased risk of diabetes. But if you reprogram your epigenome, you can overcome these genetic predispositions. That's the hope.
Thank you so much for sharing your research work and sharing your views about this particular topic and joining us on RSS Ria TV brought to you by Wokar. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.